KZ end up with a -5 in a minute?
4:30 tonight.
First of all, I don't believe in numbers.
Don't get fooled. The sound of the final buzzer means it's hangover time. So grab a drink and join your host, Alphonse Sidney, for a Miami Heat Beat post-game show.
Positives, okay? Number one, I'm in Los Angeles having a great time. And, like, it's only like 8 o'clock here. I still have the rest of the night ahead of me. Positive number one. Positive number two, Victor Oladipo played a bunch of minutes and got a little bit of run, got a little acclimated to the offense, whatever the hell it is, and the defense, whatever the hell that is. But Victor Oladipo got like over 20 minutes tonight. Very positive. Positive number three, Big Yurt got some minutes. You know, I've been calling for some Big Yurt minutes for a minute because I don't know what the fuck happened to Dedmon. So Big Yurt got some minutes. Super huge positive right there. Another positive, the starting lineup got to rest the entire fourth quarter and half of the third. Great. Like, that's awesome. Like, we're always looking for the starters to get some rest and blowouts. Like, I really don't know how you could watch this game and come away feeling negative about the Miami Heat. Oh, there's another positive. I predicted 48 wins before the season. It's still in play. Like, I thought I had no chance of being right. Like, I thought they were going to blow away my prediction. But I look at the schedule and I think there's maybe 2 wins left. I have no idea. So really, this is I don't know what everyone's so down about. Go ahead, bring me out, Brian. Do you know how to do that? Brian, Brad took the night off just like the Heat did. So thank you, Brian, for coming in and helping us produce the show. I am Alphonse Sidney, aka Alf954. Welcome into the Miami Heat Beat post-game show, Hangover Time. It is not going to be a funeral over here. Why? Because it's not that it's bad. I'm not gonna fuck. If these motherfuckers don't even got their pressure up about the game, I'm not gonna get my pressure up. I'm gonna have a good time the rest of my night. So let's go ahead, go around. Oh, if you're watching live on Twitch, thank you. We love you. Go ahead and hit us with some subs. No moose tonight, so no drip drop Saturday night. Listen, we don't want anybody getting too drunk after that shit. The expletives might fly extra heavy. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, you're a masochist, but thank you. We love you. And if you're listening to the audio in your car, please don't drive off the road. I know it was a rough game, but we will get through it together as a family, as a post-game show. Let's go ahead and not find out what everybody's drinking. Let's find out who kicked our ass, Brian.
All right.
They kicked our ass.
I'm going to tell you, I don't really know who kicked our ass because I was watching Top Boy for most of the season. So if I hit you with a Mandem and Bruv and it's just I've been watching a lot of Top Boy lately. I'm just trying to get my mind off the Miami Heat. Kenny, who kicked our ass tonight? Oh wait, Aisha has another positive. I'm sorry. Another positive is the last 6 East 1 seeds have not made the finals. Heat no longer have to worry about that. Yeah,
I think they're still the 1 seed by half a game.
No percentage points. The Sixers are now the 1 seed.
Because we have the tiebreaker.
Yes, because everybody knows the reason they've gone on a 4-game losing streak is to get out of the 1 seed. So, masterful stuff by the Miami Heat, dodging the Brooklyn Nets. You want to drop to the 3 seed. You actually, you know what? The 4 seed is where you want to be because you want to play the Bulls.
Yeah, I got one more positive. Al.
Go ahead.
We now know that Coach Quinn is not a real head coach.
Yeah, that's good. We know how important Spo is. I don't know if he could have stopped the fucking bleeding tonight. Kenny,
yeah,
who kicked our ass tonight?
All right, so first of all, I do have another positive. I'm driving to an establishment, probably paying somebody's tuition, and they have alcohol, so I'm not drinking anyway. My player of the game, no, who cares, man? Fuck. Who kicked our ass? Blake Griffin, because we couldn't get like any Eric Reed like shit. He hooped today. That was like everything went bad. I wanted some Eric Reed stuff, and we didn't get anything.
And he stopped the comeback. I mean, they cut it to 15 despite him going nuclear from 3. Yurt didn't get his shine that he deserved. I was very upset by that. Tiff, who kicked our ass tonight?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I kept flicking back and forth. I'm trying to watch Lizzo's Big Girls. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the Heat doing, so I'm trying to see what the Big Girls doing.
Okay, the Big Girls.
Me too after the show.
Kenny looking for some Big Girls tonight too. Brian, Ayo, who kicked our ass tonight?
Oh man, I didn't even watch the rest of the game. I don't know what happened basically after halftime because I switched over to the Panthers game. They came back from a 3-0 deficit, unlike the Heat, and they won in penalty shootout. Like seriously, the comeback cats, they're amazing. You guys should watch them. They're real #1 seed.
Hockey
Come on,
town.
Brian. You said 3-0. You ain't say 3 million to nothing. Like
in hockey, are you kidding? A 3-0 lead is like the equivalent of coming back down like 20.
Well, we were down 30, so we didn't have a shot.
Exactly.
37, actually.
Hockey town.
I don't know, man. I guess maybe Blake Griffin. I heard he basically had the same amount of threes as we did in one game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like KD did some stuff. Whatever.
Kyrie.
They only hit 11 threes. It wasn't even.
Yeah, but when you hit -1 3.
I mean,
hit 10. It was
their best
crazy.
player tonight was Andre Drummond. Their best player tonight was Andre Drummond. Like that sums it up. Frankie, who kicked our ass tonight?
Oh, fuck. Adam Silver, man. I'm still blaming this motherfucker. I don't know what he did. Something he did is fucking with this team. How the fuck Goran Dragic is on this team for 7 years? There is a precedent. Every time he hits somebody in the face, it's a flagrant on him. He leaves Miami, and it's a flagrant on somebody else now? What the fuck? What the fuck?
That was my favorite. Like, we get a flagrant, get 2 shots, Dedmon misses both, and then immediately punch somebody in the face. Like, it's literally like tripping over and stepping on your own dick. That's what we did all night. Oh, man.
I thought James Johnson was going to kill Dedmon.
Yeah, listen. Dedmon has a wrench in his sock and he beat the shit out of him with it. Waddle Baby Waddle says Andre Cheetah Drummond kicked our ass tonight. He sure did. Kenny, I love how the Heat lose a game and everybody starts adding Kenny. Are you concerned?
Because they know. Because you know why, Al? Because they know Kenny's gonna respond.
Oh man, I had a good talk with somebody about responding to my mentions. Honestly, Kenny, one thing you need to do is, and this somebody taught me this, click on their profile, see how many followers they have. Yeah. Because you stay following motherfuckers with 0 followers, 3 followers, and all worldwide wob. It's always like you gotta be more judicious with who you argue with online. But okay. So I'm going to ask you the question that all of Heat Twitter wants to know. Kenny, are you concerned?
The thing, like, it's funny that people keep asking me of all people because, like, I don't know if people have ever seen me after the Heat actually get eliminated from the playoffs, but I also don't care that much. So, like, asking me in March and, like, being angry, like, how dare you not be sad with me all year? Like, bro, like, you know what it is? It's like being at a New Year's party and you drinking, having the time of your life. As a girl on you, countdown's going, and somebody walks up on you like, "Hey, rent due tomorrow, right?" You're like, "Hey, cool, I understand, I acknowledge that, but I don't want to think about that right now." And they walk away, and then the next day you get up in the morning, you pay your rent, and then knocking on your bedroom window, crying and shit like, "See, you should have listened to me. Rent's due. I told you all last night. Rent's due." Like, bro, I still don't fucking care. Like,
where you live that people got access to your windows?
I live in Hialeah. It's a little rough.
They got to put their hands through. They got to put their hands through the bars, Tiff.
Also, speaking of Hialeah, and shout out to
those black bars.
And shout out to Hialeah and people who live here, but y'all got to stop letting y'all grandmas get BBLs. Ain't nobody trying to see that shit.
Very important. That should be a bullet point. Don't let your grandma get yells.
You can't have a big wooden fake ass and dementia. That shit is sick. You gotta like figure something out.
Kenny looking at the ass go by through the bars in the window.
You think she's 24 and she's 67. You be sick as hell.
Kenny, stop telling all your secrets. Alf, move on. It's too much happening with Kenny.
Is that why you're moving to Atlanta?
Oh man,
too strong.
Kenny said they got Alzheimer's. Talk about whose ass is this?
Right. Where'd my drink go?
I don't understand.
Kenny be messing with them because they be forgetting.
Tiff, what's your level of concern right now?
I mean, I've been concerned for the last month and a half, as you know, because the slide has been slowly trickling for the last month and a half. Although everybody wants to contribute it to integrating Vic and Keith, that has nothing to do with it. And I wish people would stop coming on my timeline on Dolly Parton's internet blaming two guys who just came back from one leg and whiplash. Like, let's stop. It's a level of concern. And you know what, Alf? You know I don't take it with me. They gonna win, they gonna lose. I'm gonna be, hey, we won, we lost. What? Like, you can't get too high, you can't get too down, because we're not gonna make a difference as to what happens on the court.
Yep.
Right? Nothing we could do about it. So it's on them. To me, it's on the starters. They got to figure it out, because, as I said, at some point the bench was going to hit the wall. Guess what? Mm-hmm. They ass laying on the ground like Flat Fred. That's it. They're done. The bench is cooked because they played so many minutes. Bench players aren't built to do that and contribute at the high level.
And yeah, they have been asked too many times over the course of the season to come in and save the save the starters' ass. Like, I saw people blaming Depot and Dedmon. Yep. It was the starters plus Tyler that gave up, like, that got blown out in that second quarter. Brian, I don't know if you saw it, but
I saw the first half. I saw the first half.
Yeah, that second quarter, it was the starters plus Hero. So I don't want to hear about Depot. Like, listen. If you were up by 20 and then Depot and Keith came in and fucked up and were dribbling off their foot like Bam was, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not those guys. It's the starters. I mean, between the starting five and then add Hero to it, just lately, they have just not shown up. That was for you, Brian. I'm sorry.
Brian.
You know what? I'm going to let Lefty Lave take this, because honestly, I think he makes a good point. Why doesn't Kyle and Jimmy play better alongside each other? Like, that was the whole point of why we brought Kyle to begin with.
Yeah.
So that they could be like a good backcourt, so that they actually have a good offense to run sets. They don't do anything.
I mean, well, and they're not playing together in the backcourt. Like, it may not look like the way Spo thought it was going to look. Like, yeah, we had a good run in the beginning, but, like, claim the smoke and mirrors. We did a lot of things with
preseason, man. I don't understand.
But we did a lot of things with this, Brian, because we never had consistent players. So we were shuffling and moving, and it was all smoke and mirrors.
Tiff, I said it on the timeline. Like, to me, it's not that I'm not concerned about the offense. I just never thought this was going to be a very good offense.
Yeah.
Like, I thought they would struggle in the half court. I thought what would buoy them is some decent 3-point shooting, good defense, getting out on the break, doing some things in the open court. I did not think it was going to be a great half court offense, because you have two guys in the starting unit that can't shoot, and the spacing is just going to be a nightmare. And the thing is, like, I remember G coming at me, well, the half-court offense numbers and this and that. A lot of that was just inflated by a bunch of two-way guys and, just shooting lights out, like Kyle Guy shooting 5 threes in a game and them hitting 20 threes for like 5 straight games. That shit was never going to be what they were, Frankie. What they are supposed to be is, when the offense bogs down, their defense can put the game in the mud for a little bit until they figure shit out. What's happening now is, when the offense goes in the mud, because this isn't new, the way they're playing offensively is not new. The problem is, on the other end, they're just letting other teams run all over them, which they weren't doing before.
They're letting the other team dictate the play style. which we talked about in the pregame spaces. If you let the Nets play their game, you're not going to be able to match up with them. You cannot score with them. You cannot score as easily as Kyrie and KD. I don't think we should have to explain that to Jimmy, but here we are. Jimmy, you cannot go toe-to-toe with Kevin Durant, all right, as a scorer. You are a very good player. You are not the scorer KD is. And they tried to play that, and we saw how that first quarter was okay, decent. And then as time went on, the Heat ran out of talent. And that's all it was, man. They stopped scoring. They stopped getting easy looks. They stopped getting some of those tough looks to fall, and they have nothing to fall back into. They're not playing defense. They're playing run up offense with the Nets, and the Nets are just getting whatever they want. They're dictating all the tempo, all the decision making. The Heat weren't taking anything away defensively from them.
Kenny, the lack of talent, the lack of offensive talent, I won't say talent, I'll say the lack of offensive talent was supposed to be made up by the fact that at any time in the game, you could have 4 lockdown defenders on the floor. And with the return of Depot, we were thinking there was going to be times where you could have 5 lockdown defenders. You're watching segments of defense where you have PJ, Bam, Jimmy, and Kyle all out there at the same time, and they can't defend anybody. Like, that you got guys, 13 guys on the bench are just going off on them. Like, this is like the offensive shit be damned. Like, you were supposed to be able to win a game 98-94 when your shooting goes away.
Yeah, I think they've kind of forgotten who they are in this past week, and I'm not sure what to attribute that to, but they're letting their offensive struggles get in the way of what they're meant to do, which is lock teams up. They look disinterested. They look discouraged when the shots aren't falling and all that other shit. And they got to get back to it. They got to get back to being a defense-first team, because this offense-first shit, this your turn, my turn shit, first of all, they don't have the personnel for that. But then at least if you're going to fuck up, make up for it. On a night like tonight especially, it was more so the offense, because you're not going to stop KD regardless. And so even beyond just this game, lately they've just been letting their offensive struggles bleed into the defense, and they just can't do that.
And you know what? Something that Kenny just said, Tiff, is like you see it on them. You see the lemon booty happening while it's happening. You see them, they're just and then the lazy fucking passes. Like, one thing this team cannot afford to do is turn over the ball the way they're turning the ball over, and honestly just give up defensively.
Right.
And that's what we see happening the last 4 games especially.
I think for me it's like they've hit that point where in spurts, like, they've all played so hard this season. They've had to, just because we've been constantly down players, that the reality is that some of them have also hit the wall on defense. Like, Kyle looks bad. He looks like, you know, nobody ever wants to talk about it, but like, he looks bad on defense. I mean, no, he can't keep anyone in front of him. Like, this is starting to become a problem, because you literally have Jimmy in the passing lanes. He's not really doing a lot of man-to-man defense now, because Jimmy also can't sustain it. So all of this is starting to look like last year, where it's all falling back on Bam. So now Bam is everywhere on the court, but where he really needs to be, which is under the basket.
Which is why we can't get a rebound.
Exactly. So if you got Bam out on top guarding Kyrie, who's not even going to shoot, who's literally just dribble, waiting for the opportunity to pass. So there's no fear once you remove Bam away from the basket, because then you've got, first of all, then you got Duncan Robinson under there trying to guard Drummond and making Drummond look like Akeem Olajuwon. Like, this is like problematic, because we're having to switch everything because our defense is so porous right now. And it's the starters. Like, they're not setting the tone. I don't care if you get out to a 15-7 run. You need to push that. There is no reason you can't push that further by the end of the first quarter. Like, they get out, and it seems like they start feeling themselves.
Yes. Because 15-7 should be 22-7 really easily.
Yes.
But Kenny, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, and to Tiff's point also about it being the starters, lately Tyler and Max have been getting a lot of blame for defense. And while they are bad defenders, it's really we understand that. We understand they're not going to give you much on the defensive end, so it's up to the other guys to make the right rotations and be sharp and all these other things when they're on the floor, and that hasn't happened either.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, and we were just talking about the offensive rebounding. Like that has been such a killer between like the second chance points off of turnovers. What we're doing is our initial defense is it's pointless. And then so now you're scrambling. I don't know what how do you fix it? Because people start talking about two big lineups. Like that's going to be fucking terrible with Jimmy on the floor. Like
I mean, can the offense get worse with two big lineups at this point?
Absolutely.
I mean, yes, it can.
Yes, absolutely.
You're Bam and Jimmy on the floor.
I feel like
Could you imagine?
Getting some offensive rebounds and getting like some easy like tip-ins might be their best.
Yeah,
those are long rebounds. There's another guy.
And Yurt ain't getting back.
Yeah,
and Yurt ain't getting back. So,
oh no, just cherry pick him. That's the offensive strategy.
Just keep a guy up there.
Franky, at this point, I mean, when you look at just the entire team, there are a few guys out there that are just night after night giving you nothing. And right now, one of our favorite guys is Dedmon, and he hasn't looked right for a while. And as you know, is it time to try Yurt? Because the Keith at the back of 5 minutes, please, no more of that shit, right?
Right.
So, like, is it time to, let's – and I'm not saying Yurt the long-term solution. I'm just saying whatever's going on with Dedmon, give him a few nights off and let Yurt play some minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've been calling for that for like 2 weeks since we started saying, look at Dedmon. He's not rotating. He's not helping at the rim. He's not contesting. He's not catching the ball.
Oh, my God.
He's not catching. He's fumbling the ball every time. He's not finishing inside. I'm tired of seeing him get blocked on hook shots. Like, look, Yurt's not going to give you a ton offensively, but at least he's going to rebound and he's going to set screens. And that's all you really need to get the spacing right. With Dedmon, he's just being a lumbering body inside that's taking up space, and nobody's really afraid of helping off of him because they just rotate back, and he's going to fumble the ball every time they throw it to him.
Right.
To me, and we talk about the tertiary stuff, right? But Kenny, at the end of the day, man, like I watch Kyle, I watch Bam, and I watch Jimmy look like they don't know what the fuck they're supposed to do on offense. Right, like they're hesitant as shit, and then it's like bleeding into Tyler and the rest of the team. Like we've the last 3 games, all these 3 guys have scored over 20, but it feels like it's taken the entire rest of the team out of the flow of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody knows what to do, and that's jarring. I mean, we're in March. Like, why don't we know what our offensive system yet?
What's crazy is this is the team that we thought we were going to see back in January when Ben went down for a month.
This is the healthy Heat. That's the thing. What the fuck? This is the healthy Heat. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, just like for whatever reason, like they're just not getting into their stuff. They don't run that much shit to begin with. So I don't know why they're taking so long to get into their stuff. I've never seen this many times where the Heat are in shot clock trouble and getting shot clock violations or hoisting something up. They got to just get across court, run their shit. If it doesn't work, find a counter, run something else, whatever it is. But, man, they'll wait until like 10 seconds left to be like, just random person come set a screen. It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Go ahead.
We also forget, they're not getting into their sets and everything. But let's not act like the whole league has had a whole season to scout everybody, including Jimmy, Bam, and everybody else. So everybody knows what they want to get into.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We don't, and it's not up to Spo, because Spo can give you the play, but as the point guard, you're supposed to know how to get to the second read. You're supposed to know how to get to the third option. Exactly. Yeah. That's on us. We're not cutting. We're not moving off ball. And when we make the extra pass, it's like it's fumbling. It's like we're so scared. We're in the air, just flinging it places. It's like we have no patience on the offense. That's one thing.
That half a second with the fumble is it. Like, you don't have that many opportunities in this league to fumble the ball and still get to the rim when you have guys like Claxton and Kevin Durant with their long ass arms taking up the lane. Now you're done.
Yep.
Now Bam has to put his back to the basket and go look for a dribble handoff. It's clunky and it's really disjointed right now.
But it's what Tiff said about the scouting, but it's also on the bench guys. Caleb's on the scouting report now. Max is on the scouting report now.
Yep.
They know how to defend those guys. They're not getting caught off guard anymore. They have to adjust. This team has to grow and get better in different ways and find their how they should have been playing this whole time. And yeah, like you said, everything's real sloppy. Just sloppy. Even like such as setting screens. They can't set a good off-ball screen anymore. They can't rotate. Every pass is in the air, off balance. Like with Kevin Durant in my face, I'm trying to throw a chest pass to the next guy, and I'm surprised Kevin Durant palms that shit and throws it ahead for a fucking
leaving
touchdown.
Your feet when Kevin Durant is in front of you with his arms outstretched to make a pass.
Yo,
it happened like 3 times tonight.
Lowry had 4 turnovers with 1 assist. Oladipo had 5 turnovers. Tyler had 5 turnovers. It was mainly those 3 just throwing that shit around.
Yeah.
The thing that's concerning the most is this is a horrible defensive team they did that against.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, man.
I mean, they look like the 89 Pistons out there.
Nobody cares about Goran. We were trying.
Yeah.
Goran was a guy we were trying to hide.
But they are. But here's the thing, Frankie. They're not attacking Goran.
Right,
like we watch on the other end, teams hunt our bad defenders. Victor Oladipo has Goran backpedaling, and he dribbles and he backs up and passes. Like, what are we doing? Like, that's the thing. Like, I feel like they are in their heads way too fucking much right now, right? Like, they're sitting here thinking and not attacking. Like, how many times have we seen Kyle get into the lane and is immediately looking to pass? Same with Jimmy. The other night, Strus had either a dunk or an easy layup, and he swung it into the corner for a missed 3 from Caleb Martin or somebody else. Like, we are overthinking everything offensively, and then on the defensive end, we're like, the effort is just gone. And honestly, it's hard to have that kind of effort when they're coming down after missed shot after missed shot. Oh, and turnovers, by the way, at the same time.
And we've harped on the switching a ton, but how physically exhausting is that to ask Kyle Lowry to box out fucking Andre Drummond or a 82 games?
Frankie, do you remember 2014? By the end of that year, how sick of the defensive system Ray Allen was. Yeah. It's reminding me of what Kyle Lowry looks like right now.
That's kind of what I was saying in the beginning. That I don't think it's a sustainable defense for a whole season.
It's not.
You want to bring that at the end of games or for spurts. That's perfectly fine. But you're gonna have to take your lumps with a drop or something else because you're gonna get these old guys hurt and you're not gonna get you're gonna wear PJ Tucker out after the first half of the season.
Yeah, you got.
Well, he's done. He's already wore out.
He hit that 3 today, and I was so excited, and then nothing.
Because he's done.
Brian, you got some post-game comments?
Yeah, I got some. Not sure if we can. Let me actually zoom that in so you can read a little bit. So Kyle Lowry, post-game comment. There's a beginning part to this. Basically, he says, I couldn't have foreseen it. I think we're at the point where we're not concerned in the sense of like panicking, but we have to fix stuff. This is one of those games where we really have to say, all right, we have to figure some things out.
And that's from Alex Alito, Tropical Blanket. I mean, we've heard that for 4 games straight. So
I don't.
That's the thing it's driving me crazy, Tiff. It is not. There's no shame in losing to the Brooklyn Nets,
right?
When they have both Kyrie and Kevin Durant, there's no shame in that. Where the shame comes in is like the 4th game in a row, and you still come out flat.
Yeah.
Or actually, they came out with a little bit of life, but you fall apart in the second quarter. And we're talking about the same shit we've been talking about for an entire week. Like at some point, like all the talk after the game, we got to figure this shit out. Motherfucker, figure it out. Like what is going on? Like I don't get it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Kenny.
I was saying, like you have one of the best coaches ever. You have a Hall of Fame point guard. It shouldn't take this long to make an adjustment.
No.
So if I see Jimmy shoot another 3, I'm breaking my TV.
But think about it this way. Even when they had points early on in the season where they might have lost like 2 in a row, And they didn't look so great, but then they'd follow up those 2 losses with another 3 or 4 wins. So they kept finding ways to bounce back. Now that you quote unquote have everybody, this just looks like a struggle for who's the dominant player on offense on our team. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like everybody wants to be the man. At the same time, nobody wants to be the man. That's
And
what
the correct answer should be nobody. Like I've been saying, we have one team effort. Yeah, we have one guy who's consistently good in ISO situations and like creating his own shot, and that's that guy who Brian still has up for some reason with the funny shades. Aside from that, yeah, they gotta just move the ball and figure some other stuff out. You don't want Jimmy trying to take guys off the dribble because they're gonna sag off of him. Bam, same thing. I know people say they need to give the keys to Bam. That's not the answer on offense. Kyle is old and he's a pass first point guard, so you don't go to him. Just figure some stuff out. Move the ball. Watch some old Spurs film. See what they were doing, and just that's how you get this offense together.
That's not happening. It's like what, 7 games left?
Yeah.
You're not doing all that in 7 games. Like, it's not happening. Let's just be realistic. That is not happening. They're not figuring all of that stuff out like the Spurs in 7 games. What they need to do now, somebody just needs to pull Jimmy behind closed doors.
It seems like they already have.
It didn't work. You got to do whatever you got to do something else. That didn't.
I don't know what they could do because the stuff I've heard about from Jimmy. Well, the thing that we've known about Jimmy, he doesn't like to be told what to do. That happened in the Sixers. That happened with Minnesota. He doesn't like to be told.
And guess what, Brian? It's a job. So you don't like to be told what to do? Look for employment elsewhere. Like
it's too late. They already gave him a 5-year extension.
It ain't never, Brian. As we've learned, it is never too late.
You know what it would take to get rid of Jimmy Butler on a $50 million in 2026?
Brian,
are you kidding me? There's no way they're going to be able to get rid of him.
Brian, if you can move Russell Westbrook
for a pack of thin, for a pack of trading away a first-round pick,
Brian,
he didn't get rid of a first-round pick to get rid of Jimmy fucking Butler.
You really think they're going to hold on to somebody if they're being a detriment to the team? You really think
they made their bed? No, they made
Pat's going to give a damn about a first-round pick if you got somebody that is
Pat might be dead by the time Jimmy Butler's contract is over.
I think you're looking at this the wrong way. If the goal is to win, if he's the detriment, you have to move him.
Well, for this season, there's no moving anybody.
But I'm just saying,
we got to figure this shit out. I mean,
but I'm
they
saying,
gotta figure that shit out.
Right? You got 7 games. You're not about to come back looking like the Spurs. What you got to do is find those holes, put those fucking flesh tone Band-Aids on it, and say this is what it is.
Yeah. My whole thing is it's not about going back and figuring out how to be the Spurs.
Just move the ball more.
You do it for it like. They do it. They move the ball. Yeah. There's motion. Duncan's running around like an idiot. Like they do it, and then they just forget that this is how. Like they forget that this is the way we manufacture points with dribble handoffs, with cuts, with screens. This is how we get points. And then all of a sudden, you got Jimmy and Kyle like, "Nah, I'm gonna do this shit myself, baby." Mistake. It's right. On me. It's on me. I'm Kobe Bryant out this month. Bam. No, clank. Pass me the ball. And then go down on the other end. Now the fucking long rebound, they're running. You can't get back on defense. Nope. Everyone's fucking scrambling. You know, it's just they forget who they are at multiple points in the game, Frankie. And it's starting to that's where I'm frustrated. Because I do not recognize this team sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know who I'm watching from game to game.
Yeah, they get so indecisive with their actions on both ends. They don't know what's the purpose here. What are we doing on defense? Are we trying to take away the paint? Are we trying to limit the shooting? Are we trying to get out the shooters? What are we trying to do? Are we trying to lock in on Kyrie? What are we trying to do? What's the purpose of our defense? It's a little bit of everything. And what that tells me that there's a hole somewhere, a lot of everywhere. And offensively, it's Jimmy hold the ball, pass it one time, get it back. Jimmy forgets how much time's left and shot clock violation, and shit like that. It's like just hold the ball, not decisive. I don't gotta look. I gotta get rid of it. Get rid of it. Jimmy is catching that shit, holding it. Kyle's doing the same thing, and then at one point we got a panic jump pass, into the hands of Kevin Durant. Like, oh shit, we got to run back on defense. It's like there's no purpose to this shit. We're not trying to rotate the defense. We're not trying to get into the lane. We're trying to get. I'm trying to get the ball to Jimmy. That's not an offense.
No,
that is so. The word that phrase. There's no purpose to it. Like perfectly sums up the offense I'm looking at. I don't know what you're doing and why with 8 seconds left everyone starts to fucking panic. Why did you get to 8 seconds left? Like what was the first action that got blown up? And why did that first action take 18 seconds in the first fucking place? That's the part that pisses me off. Why did it take you 8? But see, that's what everyone blames Jimmy. When Jimmy hasn't played, it looks the same way. When Jimmy's sitting, it looks the same fucking way. People say, "Oh, Jimmy setting the tone." When Jimmy ain't in the fucking building, they're playing the same goddamn way over the last month.
I don't know.
Like,
I feel like something must have happened behind the scenes between Jimmy, the coaching staff. That's kind of spiraled out of control. And this team feels like they literally have no energy to even want to go out there on a night-to-night basis. They just going out there to get a paycheck, and that's it. I don't think they really care about winning a title anymore at this point.
Well, and then that's the case. Then they'll go home early.
We'll be doing Sixers games for the rest
exactly.
Of
We'll be hate watching.
Hate watching to be back, baby.
Jimmy has more. Jimmy has like more focus on building his coffee brand than he does trying to get his jumper fixed.
Well, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. But what I will say is, there's just, we're saying like they need to fix this and that. It's a lot they can't fix. But those little things, for instance, all right, Jimmy, if you're gonna hold the ball, at least be in a good position. Yeah. At least get high posts where at least you can see, you can make the pass to a cutter, you can kick it out to a 3-point shooter. He's not even getting the ball in good positions. Stop shooting the fucking 3.
Yo, when he doesn't like he holds on to it for a good 10 seconds and then he doesn't decide. He's very indecisive. So at some point, I just want him to like just make a move, like just dribble inside if anything.
But you know what, Brian? I'll tell you one thing, and we all know this is probably true. For me personally, when I only would stand out and shoot 3s and selectively go to the basket, that means my ankle fucked up. He hurt. And it's just been repeated over and over and over. He's hurt. And it's okay because we already know his ankles are made of paper mache. Like, we know this. But you're hurting the team. So if you really can't go, just sit down.
Yeah, don't go.
At this point, just sit down.
It doesn't.
And he had a good. His last 2 or 3 games were not bad. But really, like in terms of efficiency, but in terms of like team ball, nothing works in terms of team ball with him right now.
Team wise, it hasn't been.
So if he is hurt, just sit down. Let Caleb just
and guys like right now, PJ keeps talking about, I don't need to sit. You're actively hurting the team. Deadman, you're actively hurting the team. Like, we're losing anyway. Would you motherfuckers sit down and get right? And maybe watch the game from the sidelines and figure out what the fuck is going on. Caleb Martin don't want to sit down. You're hurting the team. Like, there's so many guys.
Bad.
He looks bad. Like, they have all this pride and they're hurting the fucking team right now. Yeah. And honestly, if we're gonna lose anyway, get that 4th seed and face the fucking Bulls, baby. Like, because that might be your only way to get to the second round at this point. But we do have one of our regular segments, even without Brass. Are you ready, Brian? Because we have our Gaga guy of the game.
Yeah, we can get it up.
Let's go.
Trailing by 25. 7:10 left in the third. A steal by Drummond. Look out. That's a runaway freight train coming.